I'm Mr. Simons and welcome to lesson 5. In the fourth lesson we were writing as a single trig ratio. In this lesson there's a reduction before we can use the compound angle. Right, so look at problem number 1. Write the following as a single trig ratio and simplify if possible. We're going to do this for all the problems. They have cos 50 but cos 40. There's cos 10 and there's cos 80. So there's no compound angle that's cos. So I'm either going to make it cos, sin, or I can make it cos, sin, cos. Right? So can I make 50, 40? Alright, 90 degrees minus 40 gives me 50. There, cos 10 I left as it appears. Cos 40, because there's a 40 and 40, I'm going to leave it. And 80 I can make 10 by saying 90 minus 10. So cos 90 degrees minus 40 falls in the first quadrant. First quadrant, cos is positive, but 90 changes cos to sin. So that becomes sin 40, cos 10. Cos 40, cos 90 minus 10 in the first quadrant, but in the first quadrant, cos is positive, but cos 90 changes to sin 10. So now I have sin 40, cos 40, cos 10, sin 10. So I have sin cos minus cos sin. Using the sine compound angle, that will become 40 minus the 10. Sin 30, which equal half. Right, if we look at problem number 2, I have cos 75, sin 75, sin 75, sin 15. So cos 75 and sin 75, same angle. Right, sin 75 and sin 15 not the same, so I'm going to make it the same so I can use my compound angle. So 75 can be written as 90 minus 15. So that 15 corresponds with that 15. So that becomes cos 75, 90 minus 15 falls in the first quadrant, but 90 changes sign to cos 15. Sin 75, sin 15, so now I have cos, sin. Remember, with a cos compound angle, the sign always changes, so plus becomes minus. So 75 minus 15, which gives me the cos of 60, which then equal half. Right, so most of these problems we have to make them the same so we can use the compound angle to reduce it. Say single trig ratio, meaning it's either going to read cos, sin or tan only. Right? Right, now we are in problem 3. Given you cos 40 minus alpha, cos 20 plus alpha, minus sin, and sin. So most of the time, because learners see that, you're going to use compound angles expand, because if I didn't color code, most learners don't see that this angle and that angle is the same. See there in blue, and that in purple, and purple is the same. So be very careful of this type of problem, because if you go expand using cos and sin, end up following a long procedure, and most of the time you're not even going to end up by the right answer. So be very careful. It said single trig ratio, so we're always working from right here, given that, going to that direction, given angles. So cos, I'm going to use that angle there, minus becomes plus. So I have 40 minus alpha plus 20 plus alpha. 40 minus alpha plus 20 plus alpha. 40 plus 20 gives me 60. Alpha minus alpha cancels, so the cos of 60 equal half. So if you follow, you see what I've done. I hope the color coordination make it easier. Feel free to comment on it. Maybe you don't like the blue and purple. I don't know. Right, problem number 4. Write the following as a single trig ratio. Right, sometimes we can just say simplify. So again, I have sin 100 minus beta, cos 80 minus alpha. So I have sin cos. That side I have a plus, cos 180 minus beta, sin 80 minus alpha. So again, you can see the first angles are the same, the second angle are the same. But because it says sin cos, I'm using the sine compound angle. So that's sin A cos B, etc. Back to that. So I have 100 minus beta plus 80 minus alpha. So 100 plus 80 gives me 180. I'm left with minus beta minus alpha. If I take out the negative, then beta becomes positive and alpha becomes positive. So 180 minus beta plus alpha falls in the second quadrant. The second quadrant sign is positive, so that simply reduces to sine b plus alpha, which now I'll have to expand, even though I said single trig ratio. So that's my final answer there, right? But I've just expanded it again. Sine b cos alpha plus cos beta sine alpha. So that part is not necessary. Single trig ratio, it would simply be sine beta plus alpha. So hope you understand. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I wish you nothing but the best for your future. I really want you to do well. Continue practicing. Pause, redo the sums, go redo the homework or your past exam papers. But all I know is those that practice and are diligent, so on, will do very well for the year.